Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning. Frantically trying to make my sound come out of my computer. Like I can read, I
Yeah,
hear
well,
all.
I was frantically trying to organize my thoughts for good news.
Oh, look at you. I might have to call on you first. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm not there. But you do what you need to do. It's okay.
Still organized. How's everything going, y'all? How y'all feeling?
I feel great.
Uh,
My contract got accepted.
Yeah.
Yay.
With your problem child, people.
Well, that one, I think I have an offer coming in on, but
The old guy, the 88-year-old.
the
Okay.
88-year-old that I was showing around in the rain.
I have sold more houses in inclement weather. I am not even exaggerating. I have well, if you don't sell in the rain in Washington State, you just don't sell. Because it's not happening
Well, yeah.
otherwise. But in deep snow, ice, rain, stupid stuff, I have written a lot of contracts in that crap. 2 times in snow about this deep, 12, 14 inches. We never get snow like that in Washington State. I mean, it just doesn't happen. When you get snow, it's like 3, 4 inches, maybe 6, and then it's gone a day or 2 later. Once in a blue moon, it'll last 3 or 4 days, but really that's it. But twice we had a stupid foot of snow and I had a stupid drive in it. But I sold a house both times, so I'm like, whatever. I'm a girl.
Those were the determined buyers.
Exactly. You know what? That's a really good point. If they're out looking during holiday season specifically, there's or a foot of
Real
snow,
serious.
they're absolutely serious. They really are. So there might be fewer in numbers, but the rates actually, like my rates, my business wasn't seasonal. Probably because I drove in a foot of snow. But it really wasn't seasonal because even though there were less people, they were dead serious. They were buying. Nobody goes and looks at houses right before Christmas, for fun. It's just, I don't know. Nobody does that. Anyway,
I did in
congratulations.
Florida.
Florida's different. Florida, Arizona, the 2 really hot places in the country, the seasons are flipped, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, you're right. It is a little different here. People come here on vacation and they want to see houses. So any vacation place, I imagine LA is probably the same because people go on vacation to go to Disneyland and then they want to see what's down there. Anyway, good point. All right. So we know Kay's good news. Bree, we can hear you probably right now. What's yours, sunshine?
I showed a house last night and we're writing an offer.
Good.
Woo, 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 woo. Okay, where'd that buyer come from?
So I've actually been working with them since 2019.
My
Good
gosh.
Lord. That's some dedication, girl.
And a house came up that another agent had, and it's like off market. So I thought of them because it was in the neighborhood that the husband grew up in. He's very specific. Come to find out, that one wasn't the fit for them, but another one was.
Nice.
So
Very nice. Congratulations. All right. So far, we're 1 offer and 1 accepted. Craig, what's your good news?
I can go if you want me to.
Yeah, let me think a little
Craig,
bit.
Kathy, because she's been prepping.
Yeah,
I
but
was getting my cup of coffee. She's prepping on her good news. What you got, darling?
it's just little stuff. But
Wait a minute. It's
no,
still like
I know,
quantified.
I know.
It's all good.
But one of them actually caused me to have lots of thinking. I may ask you guys your opinion, but I finally found the code for strength finders because I told you I knew I'd done it and I could not find it. I don't know if you can see that dumb thing, but it's there.
It's there.
Anyway,
Okay.
It's there.
Yay.
I don't know how many years ago it was or if I can do it twice because it seems to me I remember that I couldn't do it twice. but I don't know.
think you can,
Anyway.
but I want to I think I might want to redo mine because it's been, I think 17 or 18 years.
Yeah, and mine hasn't been that long. I got on the another one is that I got on the VA housing. They had a talk, training, whatever, in the broker room yesterday.
Mhm.
And I got onto it a little bit late because I was delivering food after I left you guys yesterday. But it pumped me up. It sounded really good.
Mhm.
And so I was happy about that. And then at the end of the evening, I had checked Facebook just before I went to bed. And one of the people that I have talked to off and on about things posted that they had just gotten their passed all their tests for real estate. They're down in Texas.
Uh-huh.
And I had congratulated and said, have you figured out what brokerage you're going to go with? And he responded a little bit later that he's going to interview like 3 or 4 brokerages and asked if I had something in mind. And we set an appointment for today around 10:30. Well, 10:30 his time, 11:30 mine. And that's where I have a question, but I'll let everybody else go.
Yeah, hang on to that. And that's really good. And congratulations. And they're not little.
Well,
You
they
just
are,
have to
but
think.
they're good.
They're good.
Yeah, they're still good.
It can be tiny stuff that changes our mood. It can
Yeah.
be me hearing a good song on the radio, or I don't know, little tiny stuff sometimes really affects us. Have you guys ever like heard a song or had somebody tell you something that's really cool and you're gonna get goosebumps? The good kind, you know? Do you know what that is? That's actually dopamine being released in your system. And sometimes it's from little tiny stuff. You know, you'll get the ooh, and that's a cool thing. And there you go. And there's a cat for us. And there's a cat. So, all right,
Very
Craig.
big cat.
A what cat?
A big cat.
Big cat. All right. Craig, what you got?
Well, you know, I have been having some, like, everything has been breaking in my house, right? So
It's a reverse Midas touch. Everything turns to shit.
yeah. So the sump pump under the house was, you know, going bad. I went and got a new switch for it. Hadn't worked. I mean, it didn't even come on. So I got to get back under there with all of the water. I know it's wet with all the rain we've gotten the last couple of days. But I'm still smiling. So last night I had to change the drain in my bathroom sink. Well, yesterday. So as I got everything put back together, turned on the water, and it is leaking by the P-trap from, you know. So one of the pipes, or the thread's broken, the lip on it, so it's leaking. So throughout it all, I went back to Lowe's and got parts this morning before I got on the meeting, and I'm still smiling. So I didn't let it discourage me. I'll tackle it again today.
Love it.
Right.
Love it, love it, love it. One of the things that I just watched said, you're never going to get away from fear, uncertainty, and pain. Where it was fear, uncertainty, and pain. It's like not every day, but it's just going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, it just is. And then something else that I read this morning that I really liked, it said, don't try and manage your emotions, manage your reactions to the emotions. I'm like, oh, I like that. That's very good. Because emotions aren't inherently good or bad. They just are. You know, they make us feel good or bad, but they just are. So we got to manage our reactions to them. So good job managing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Liz, are you a speaking Liz today?
I can speak. I'm not feeling
Ooh.
the greatest, but I can speak.
Okay.
Just quickly, I mean, I don't really have a lot of news. I am, like so many, I'm battling some different challenges that are health related at the moment. I don't know what's going on. So I'm trying not to have that override my emotion for the rest of the day. But the win, I guess, is it's my youngest son's 16th birthday today. So we've got
Wow.
lots of
Happy
celebrating
birthday.
horizon. And
Yay.
of course, it started at the beginning of the month and will probably go through the end of the month, but even though it's just one day today. So we're excited to do that.
Festival. I love it.
Liz,
Right
I
on.
thought of you today morning as I attempted not to kill my 17-year-old.
Oh, really? Tell me.
He he just wakes up and he's just like off. And so he was like, we're working on college applications. I've got a coach. I'm tapping out. I've got
Mhm.
a coach. So she's on him. They're working great together. He got stressed. He was like, it's your fault. I didn't get this done. Da, 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 da. You didn't check the mail. I was like, good morning.
Exactly. Exactly.
You played Xbox for 6 hours last night. Therefore, it is a lack of priorities, not last minute. I'm like, get off my ass.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then, so we had a conversation this morning. I get a text at 7 after I dropped him off. He goes, can you go home and get my AirPods?
Oh, seriously. The short answer is no.
Is this normal?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, it is. I've got a 19-year-old who doesn't feel like he needs to put on his location 360-degree life 360-degree app so I know where he is when he's out of this house. And yesterday morning, I got ready to take him to work and he wasn't here. I'm like, what's happening? He's like, oh, Destiny's taking me to work. His girlfriend. I'm like, listen, turn that thing on or that phone comes back to me. I own it for these purposes and I'm sick of stressing out. Then he comes home, picks up the mail because it's the season for all the packages coming. And I'll make this short.
Right.
He's looking for his packages to be coming in the mail or whatever. He comes in. I said, did you turn on his app? He's like, yes. And I don't care if you know where I am. And I said, I know, that's the problem. So let's just make sure the boundaries are clear. That app stays on or that phone returns to me and I'll lock you down in the house. Understood?
love
He's like,
that.
yeah.
And what I love about it is like, because my kids would be like, I remember when what's coming to mind right now is when they were littler, and once in a while they'd be like, I don't like you. And I'm like, I don't like you right now either.
Exactly.
I
I'm not worried about
being
being liked. I'm worried about finding you if something happens to you out there in the streets of DC or Northern Virginia.
and
And
you
you can't
don't
tell
meet
me where
them,
you are.
exactly. And you don't meet them with resistance. You like, oh no, we're on the same page. And I remember another one when you're little, I'm like, when we get ready to go, and if you got two little ones or whatever, like you need to go to the bathroom before we get in the car, because otherwise 5 minutes down the road, you have to go to the bathroom. It'll make me insane. So that's the rule. Matter of fact, to this day, because it's always been the rule growing up, if you say, let's go, I have to go to the bathroom. It like Pavlovian triggers me. So
Wow.
it's dead serious. With the kids though, it'd be like, all right, bathroom. And they're like, I don't have to go. And I was always like, you don't have to go. You just have to try. Go.
Exactly.
And there was never, I tried really hard not to push this way, but to come alongside them and, push from behind and agree with them. I'm like, no, we're going to agree and you're going to flipping do what I want to do anyway. Because we're not leaving the house until you do that.
Yeah.
Enough of me and little kid stuff. Kathy, I know you got something you want to talk about. Bring it on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Well, I forgot. I was dealing with all this. I guess I sort of, even though I have communicated with this person, his name's Jamoke, and he's, like I said, he's in Texas now. When I first started talking with him here and there, he was in Minnesota. But he's married now and he's got a baby, just a brand new baby. And he went ahead and got done with his real estate class, which is great. And what my concern is what happens if he's not a fit? I don't.
Do you mean,
if he decides to join us?
Yeah.
Okay. Whether it's EXP or our team and EXP, what happens if somebody's not a fit?
So here's my question. Do you mean not a fit because, let's say, culturally they are a taking, lying, cheating person, or not a fit because they need massive hand holding, or not a fit because they're the type that want to be fed everything? Like, what kind of not a fit?
I get, well, I mean, I'm open to people and whatever their stuff is. So it's really hard to, this thing popped in my head at the, like, I don't know, in the middle of the night sometime.
Oh, let's go
And
deal with that instead. That's a better question. Yeah, look at you.
I had a story going on all night. I slept with headphones on in a fictional story. How's that?
There you go.
I did. The
So,
light and shadow.
ooh, so, okay, so there's different kinds of not a fit. There's just not a fit because you're a thief or a stealer or whatever. And sometimes we don't realize that until we get closer into relationship. And that kind of not a fit, we give them a shot, we talk to them about it, and we give them a shot, and then we take them off the team. And so we've had a couple of those where it's like, not a fit. So that's different because we'll basically coach you off the team. If you will not coach off the team, we'll remove you off the team. So if you're a wolf, and that's the one thing that the team, if a team is very, and I learned this when I was a team leader, if you're very, very positive, reinforcing, supportive, caring, loving, building, if you're that type of a culture in a real estate office, because a lot of real estate offices really aren't that, they're dead quiet. I mean, there's kind of this nothing. So if you have that culture, the people who are negative will leave because they don't like it when it's really positive. But the wolves in sheep's clothing, they will stay, and you have to remove them. So that's that issue. If someone's not a good fit because they can't handle any tech at all, and they're not willing to dig in and try, or they want to have somebody glued next to them 24/7, or they literally want to be said, look, I already set up the buyer for you completely. You need to go with me on the appointment. Like they need that level of handholding, then that's a different level of not a good fit. And that's, I try now, I'm much better at I wasn't at having those conversations up front now. So there's actually been a few people that I've talked to that are like, I'm never going to do anything on the computer. I only want to go into an office. That's all I ever want. I can't wrap my brain around it. And that's fine. Like probably not a good fit. I might check on them later. But I want to push all that aside because there's a thing that we have that happens to us. And it's the little voice inside your head with all the negative stuff. What about this? What about this? What about this? I can't do it because of that. What about that? What about this? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this? Do you guys have that thing going on that happens when you want to do something new, or you're going to step outside your comfort zone, or, well, really for any reason? Do you guys have that?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know,
Those don't go away, and they're designed to keep you safe. So what they're designed to do, sometimes people will say my gut, my gut, my gut, my gut. And there's two different things for gut. There's a kind of gut that's like hold back and keep safe. And that really is you have like a second brain in your stomach. It's a bunch of nerves that's down in your stomach. It's a primordial brain of sorts. And that whole thing is designed to keep you safe. So it's don't step out, don't go on the offensive, don't go out, stay inside. It's the thing that, like, if you ever play paintball, guys will like jump out and girls will hide. That's the thing that's telling us just hide down in the corner. And I would probably be that girl that would hide in the corner, but I would make sure I had a really good shot that nobody knew where it was coming from. But anyway, so that thing is not going to go away. That thing, you have to be able to, you got to recognize it, and you got to understand what it is. And then there's different techniques to be able to deal with that thing. One that I personally use is wait. Once I'm aware of what's going on and the thoughts are up there, wait. What is that? And then I stop and I'm like, matter of fact, it's one of the things that we're going to be talking about later today. And then I'm like, what is the truth? And because I know what this is saying, I know what the truth is. And then once I know, and so I really, really kind of go through, and once I know what the truth is, then I move forward anyway. But this oftentimes does not shut up or stop. It's only by doing and showing it, know that I can get it to quiet down. Does anybody have anything else that they do to deal with that thing?
I get quiet. I meditate,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and kind of try to remove myself from it, to forget about it, and get calm.
Disassociate.
Huh?
Disassociate.
Yeah, disassociate from it, and so I can lower my anxiety level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then usually I can go back and you know, after a little while, I can go back and I think more clearly
Mhm.
about the situation. I usually go back and I'm calm when I get back into the situation. I don't particularly think of the worst that'll happen. I don't particularly think about the best that will happen either. I kind of think of it as what needs to happen will happen.
Bam. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think that this is going on right now with me.
Okay.
But just to add to this conversation, what I do a lot of times is that I step back, unless I feel, it's something like you said, that fear, the justified, and you've got that innate, oh, something's wrong.
Oh yeah. Don't get on the
Um,
elevator.
Yeah, or
That
whatever.
thing.
If
Yeah.
it's that, I believe it.
Right.
And I
Yeah,
let it
you
ride.
should. You should definitely listen to that thing of stranger danger out there, whatever that person is
Yeah.
that is giving me the heebie-jeebies for whatever reason,
Yeah.
so
Even
safe.
if I don't understand why, I believe it and I let it go.
Right.
But a lot of times when things like that come up, like Craig, I sort of step back, but I start analyzing why is this here?
Right.
And
Okay.
yeah, if it's the other thing, and I keep thinking of something that happened when I was going through a lot of stuff many, many years ago, and I got it really bad and it wouldn't leave. I had a friend that I would call and say, can you come stay with me tonight?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I needed that extra support and strength
Yeah.
because it wouldn't go away.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry if I misinterpreted what
no,
with
it's
this
okay.
guy also.
It's a
So
good thing.
okay. So is there something underneath that you feel like maybe he's not a good fit, or is it just what happens if?
Part of it's what it happens if, but the other part of that is having, looked at his site, communicated with him for years off and on.
Mhm.
Like, I know we're not allowed to say certain things on Facebook and social media, and you got to act this way and that way, and can't do this and that and the other thing. And you got to pretend you're not a person anymore half the time. When you're a realtor, that's what I'm kind of worried about.
Can I ask a question? What kind of career is he in now? What industry is he in now?
He's an entrepreneur. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what he's doing right now. I've seen him. He's an investor.
Okay.
Start off, he's an investor. I know he's gone to college because I ended up looking last night. So he's got a degree. But I also, in finding that out, wonder if something else not so good happened. And he also had this clothing line. So, I mean, he's done a lot of different things, which are all, it's all great. But like I said, I just wonder, I know sometimes there's that real political stuff that comes out and can get you in trouble, and language stuff that can get you in trouble. But anyway, I just kind of, like I said, wonder
Is he
what
coachable?
happens. Pardon?
Do you think, is he coachable? Like, do you think that if he's given the guidance, he'll
That I
be able
don't
to-
know. Not truly. I would assume
'cause
so,
he may
but
not
I
have
don't
been
really know.
exposed. He
Yeah.
may not have been exposed.
I might just read.
Not that that's your job, but
Yeah. I might just
No,
read. Sorry.
Go ahead, Liz.
I just might talk with him about the core values of EXP and the team and let him know that, in the real estate space, it's all about relationships. This is how we do, this is how we operate. He can make his own decisions in terms of whether any of that speaks to him, because you're right. I mean, I've even members of my own family who've gone ahead and pursued the license. I'm like, really? That's interesting, because I don't know that I would ever do business with you based on the way they operate. They're too busy into people pleasing or something in it for them instead of, service to others. So maybe just frame the conversation in terms of what his motivation was for getting the license, what it is our core values are at EXP and on the team, and see if that helps you kind of, give him the information that he needs to make decisions, but also maybe answer some of the own questions that have come up for you.
Right. Well, I figured today when I talked to him, I would try to get a feel for what he's looking for. I did ask him to send me a list of questions if he has them, and I'll try to address them. But I also reached out to Gary and asked him if he was available. And I want to ask you too, because your style's different, Gina. And pull in on a 3-way call to kind of help him, or I'll set it up later.
I can at 11:30. I can 11:30 our time. If you want to grab me in on a call, and I've got a hard stop at noon, just so you know. And I guess my question would be, is the man intelligent?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, then he can make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see I don't see anything weird like that.
Seems like it. If he started all this stuff, at least he's got impetus and get up and go.
Yeah.
And all those things.
And he certainly got drive. That baby's brand new.
Yeah. And the reason why I asked that is because this is pulling from a weird place. I wouldn't date my husband for the longest time because I'm like, he's too young. I'm not going to do it. And then one day I realized, like, he's not 15. Like, he's over the age of 30. What the hell's wrong with you? Like, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. It's not my fault. I would never go and I would just never willfully hurt a person. Could it happen? Yes, it could, but that's the risk we'll take,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If I was in your situation, I would definitely pull Gina and Gary in, but with him, talking to him personally, especially being that he's an entrepreneur and he's been to college and stuff, so sounds like he's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
would
so.
so I would just be like, hey, listen, before you make a decision to go to any other company, it's fine if you talk to other companies, but do me a favor and don't sign on with another company until you get to talk to EXP and see what all we have to offer. Let him know that we do have the rev share. He can participate in the stock, whatever it's called, I can't remember. And just let him know that we have different streams of income instead of just being an agent. And if he's already been an investor, he's been on the investor side. This would the GIA team would be great for him.
Yeah, I mean, I really think in terms of all those kinds of things, it's probably fine. I just wonder, like I said, it made me start wondering what if he doesn't really fit well into the realtor mode, I guess.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on exactly.
Yeah, he'll figure it out, because now is the time that a lot of new agents are leaving anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to figure out very quickly whether he wants to stay in the real estate or not, no matter what company he's at.
True. I will say this, if he's in the wrong company, he'll leave faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He will. Because I catch people all the time that are brand new and they make a decision to go. I catch them right after they've, gone with whatever big box company. And they're like, no, I want to try it. Matter of fact, there's a guy that left the team and he waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. Finally joined us, was financially destitute already from the other company. And it was just a mad dash scramble and doesn't want to stay in real estate. It's like, dang it. Like I tried to tell you, don't do this. But people do what they're going to do,
Well, yeah. I mean, in a lot of ways, I think it would be a really good fit. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask the question, you know?
I think it
Um,
sounds like he is too.
Yeah, and I get, you know, when you're in a real estate situation, you may present yourself in a certain way. And when you don't have those stupid constraints, you know, you may talk about how you feel about
You know,
abortion or whatever.
Kathy, I
Yeah.
think that you can be who you want to be. And I really, really, aside from the thing that we can't say this is a good neighborhood or that's a bad neighborhood. I mean, we're
Right.
not allowed to say that. Aside from that one, I'd rather you had your opinions. You don't seem to me like the kind of person that's on social media, you know, death to whatever. That's not who you are, how you present. I think that I don't think, I know you are okay with being yourself because your opinion that you have about whatever situation it is that you have, one would be presented out of love and caring because that's who you are. That's just who you are integrally as a human being. But two, does not take away from anybody else's opinion of what they are or not. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I agree. And, just to take the example to an extreme, unless he's like a Kanye or whatever whatever he's calling himself these days, West, where he's going out talking about all this hate that he has. And I think there's a mental health issue going on there completely and other things. But unless he's presenting in that fashion, I'd rather work with a what you see is what you get type individual in, the real estate space. He'll know for himself if he's in the right brokerage or in the right spot. But people will, or I would see and appreciate knowing exactly who I'm dealing with and making my own decisions in terms of whether or not, sometimes you just separate, people are okay separating the character from the service and being like, it's okay, this person might not subscribe to a lot of things that I do or value a lot of things that I do, but the service is good and I can put it in its box. And sometimes they don't, but I think it's for his clients or whoever's future clients are to
Yeah.
determine.
Because
So
I'd
I'm
rather know who I'm
overthinking.
dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to speak to Liz, like, I have a totally different view of Kanye. So just because I have a different view of him doesn't mean that Liz and I can't agree,
Right.
and if I had a different view of Kanye doesn't mean that I couldn't have a conversation with Kanye. Like, I'm not a religious guy. And I let people have their religious freedoms.
Sure.
I let them have their opinion. Only time I get agitated is when I have mine and then they start telling me what I have to do.
Proselytizing on one way or the other.
Yeah.
My business partner, when we first opened up the coaching company before I was here, I had a business partner who's actually my first team leader. And she is as night and day. She's very close to my personality, but politically we're night and day different. And I mean, absolutely night and day. And we have the best conversations because we come at it from help me understand why you feel the way you feel about that particular situation. And we
Right.
just have the conversation and it's really enriching. And I think the thing that sucks nowadays, and I'm just going to be out there and say it. I think the thing that sucks nowadays is way back when you used to have a dinner party and you would purposely invite an artist, an engineer, a scientist, a musician, an author, a business person, a salesperson, or whatever, because you knew it was going to be this really lively
Great
mix.
conversations.
This great conversation. And we don't flip it. And so you could expand your mind because you'd never heard of that before, or thought of that before, or run across that concept before, or any of that stuff. And a smart person can pull from all these different things and go, how does that apply to my life or what I'm doing, this thought process or whatever, where's the grain in that applies to just life in general? And we don't do that a lot of times anymore because we curate everything to a very narrow focus group, which just continues our thoughts because it just agrees with them down the same thing. So I love my friend so much. I love Linda. Linda Warren's her name. She's up in Washington State. She's as diametrically opposed to me as humanly possible. Respect, value, love, adore, just a really deep relationship. And it's okay. My daughter has different relationship or different feelings than different thoughts than I do. And we have really good talks about it, you know? And we agreed in the very beginning, like, we're going to think very differently. We're probably not going to convince the other person it's okay, don't bother trying, but we will talk freely about what it is that we feel with our values and our thoughts. And the other person, it's not to change. It's just because I feel and think this way. You
Mhm.
feel and think that way. Help me understand that. That's
Yeah.
it.
I have
Just
an
acceptance.
example, an extreme example. I have someone that started out as a client that became a friend. And she and I are politically on complete opposite. Like, she was watching a video and she was crying. And I was like, are you okay? She's like, it was a video and the music was He Did It My Way. And it was about Trump over the years. And she's crying. I was like, oh shit. Like, she was legit upset. So I'm trying to console her. Meanwhile, I'm like, she's batshit crazy, but I love her. Love her. She invites me to all the family functions. She's given me referrals. Like, and it's like very interesting, diametrically. I mean, just, you know, like a great human, but just batshit crazy. I mean, and I'm sure she says I'm batshit crazy. So I didn't hear from her last January. Like, you know, we touch in base. She was at the Capitol, the riots in
Really?
DC.
Oh, no. Okay.
But she didn't go inside. So she went to the rally that was away from the Capitol. And then when they started marching, she's like, they're batshit crazy. So she didn't go in, but she laid low for months off Facebook because they're just
Oh, they went after all kinds of people.
right. She and her husband.
I'd have been scared to death had I been there that they would come after me afterwards too.
Oh, she was.
Really would
She
have
was.
been.
Like, she was. And so she told me, she's like, hey, sorry, I had to go incognito. I was like, oh my God, you are batshit crazy. But I say that to say, I mean, that's one of my most extreme friendships.
Mhm.
Most extreme. Like, and to this day, I'm like, I don't understand. Because she is an amazing, like, she volunteers, great family person, but she just has this thing that I cannot relate to. But she is safe enough. She feels safe enough with me that we can have these discussions
Mhm.
and it not be taken personally.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I
don't-
went to her Christmas party,
Yeah.
and I found her the house, I was like, everybody owns guns. And my kids were like, and there are no street lights.
Mhm.
And it's on a winding road. Like, we could have been shot and left and nobody would know for months. Only Black people. I show up with my white kid, my 2 Black kids,
Mhm.
you know, I'm like, hey. And she's like, this is Bree. She's my best friend. You buy a house from her. I was like, your friends, they're not going to shoot me, are they?
Aw.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, as an African American, I've always had to navigate,
Yeah.
you know, accepting people where they are.
Yeah.
Right.
And the line of it not interfering with my life. And she's there. Like, I know if I called her tomorrow, if she lives an hour and a half away, she would be here. But her views on race are like kind of off, but we'll deal with that.
Kind of off. I like that.
You know, I come from a very small town in South Carolina, you know, and where we had a public school and a private school in the little town, where the
Mhm.
private school was 100% white and
Yep.
the public school was predominantly Black. But we still interacted, right? Like, yeah, I saw some prejudices growing up, but I didn't see the Klan march until I went into the military and was stationed in Delaware. So it's really crazy because people telling me,
Wait. You saw the Klan
Yeah.
march?
the Klan marched in Delaware and they were handing out flyers and putting them in people's driveways and stuff like that.
Wow.
What
And
year was this?
this was 91.
Oh my God.
The Klan
Yeah.
started in Pulaski, Tennessee, and I've sold houses there.
Wow.
Wow.
So, you know, and so, you know, and people were telling me, oh, it's so racist down there and this and that. I'm like, I didn't have that experience. You know, And when I started my first business, I had a detail shop. So it's this white guy. He was a little younger than I. He was a mechanic, and I was between shops, and he was like, "Hey man, come work over here." And so I went and worked with him. The guy that I had the partnership with at first, we had grown up together, and then we in business we split. It was a bad split. So I went to work for him, and with him, I should say. And he says, "Man, people are telling me all this stuff about you, and you did this and you stole from the guy." I was like, "Why would I steal from myself? I purchased half of the stuff, so why would I steal from myself?" And by the time he and I split, I came in real estate, and I left that alone. I did pressure washing full time. I saw him in the mall, and his daughter and my son are a month apart in age. She's a month older than my son. And he told me, he says, "Hey man, I just want to tell you that, all of those other people that were around me, everybody had their hand out and was beating off me except you." He said, "You were the only friend that I had." He said, "And I didn't know it, and I appreciate you. And we're still friends to this day."
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Very nice. That's
Yeah.
very cool when someone circles back around and says something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want anything from him. I mean, I
Yeah.
could stand on my own 2 feet. And, I've never taken anything from anyone because I felt like if, first of all, if somebody takes my stuff, I want to kill them, So I don't want to take anybody else's stuff that they worked hard for. I don't beat off of people, and, so that's not my character. And he saw it, afterwards, after being around me.
Yeah,
That is a beautiful story. It
it
really
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for entertaining this thing that that I brought up. It tells me that I'm overthinking.
Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing the thing up that you thought up.
Well, it's kind of weird, but before we go, because I know you probably will, I want to make sure you guys know I won't be here tomorrow. I'll be driving to a funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So,
Kathy.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you okay, Kathy?
Yeah, I haven't been in touch with them for quite a while, but it was a family friend that had friends that have been for a long, long time, but there's been a division, and it's been coming back around. So kind of like your partnership, because I kind of felt like I don't know if I should go or not. And my daughter fussed at me and actually reached out to the family and said, "Of course you're welcome." So Anyway.
After I'm glad you're going. I really am.
yeah.
After my mother-in-law and father-in-law divorced, she was very close with some parts of his family, not very much, but a little bit. And she didn't want to reach out to them, and I understand. And they contacted her and said, they were married almost 52 years. They're like, "You are our family. You stay with us." And it's pretty cool, and they're awesome. They really, really are. So it's nice that of course you're welcome. It's
Mhm.
nice. Of course
Yeah.
you're welcome. Yeah, you're a lovely human being. So I'm glad that you're there, and who knows what will come out of it. But funerals are also for us. It's for the living.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Bernie was one of these guys that had bone diseases and stuff. So he had deformities and just all kinds of things that was just really hard for anybody to deal with.
Mhm.
And he always had a smile. He always had a kind word. He may have had some other issues and whatever, but he was a great, great guy. He lived down in the Hampton area, so that's where it is. But
Hampton Roads.
yeah,
Oh,
so I'm heading towards the
was
beach.
for a few years. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So when you go through Newport News, wave, that's where I used to be. We got a ton of friends there.
Yep, I
Ton.
got family in Newport News.
Do you?
Yep.
Yep, Newport News, Portsmouth,
Yep.
Virginia Beach, all that area.
Yeah,
Well,
Gary's
that's a
from,
hot area. I just heard it on the Virginia Housing Talk. So one of those economic developed areas.
Okay,
yep. Oh,
You get some
Newport News
great
is
loans.
crazy
Nice.
from what it used to be. So I started I started the K-Dub there. in
okay.
Newport. Yeah.
I
Um,
started to move there as soon as, when I was out of the military. I went
Mhm.
down for a while, but I couldn't find a job, so I left.
there's a big military
Yeah.
presence, you see all
Yeah.
over Virginia, obviously. But I had, there's a big military connection between Seattle and Virginia. And so a ton of I know a ton of people that have done, it's really funny because there's an old Bugs Bunny cartoon where he literally says that he was in Newport News in Walla Walla, Washington. And that's where we were. And we're like, seriously, Walla Walla, Washington and Newport News, there's a connection? Yeah, well, Walla Walla is kind of far from the base, and Walla Walla is just a funny word, but it's the two bases that people go back and forth all the time. So it was just very weird to be in little town and know people in both cross country,
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah,
So I saw you getting ready to say anything else.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing before I leave, so my son, he's a sophomore in high school, straight A student, right? He's always told us that he wanted to be an engineer or architect. So here lately he says, I don't know what I want to do. He's getting letters from colleges already. He gets a letter at least 2 a month, So I told him, okay, you don't have to be a engineer or architect, but now you really got to start figuring out what you want to do. So you need to research, some jobs, careers that you think are cool and people, are doing, and see if they might be a fit. What is it?
I could do anything I wanted to if I just knew what it was.
Cool. I need that stuff.
Barbara, sure.
So anyway, I asked him on the way to school the other day, I say, hey, what do you think about real estate? He says, I don't know. I think it's cool. I see you doing it. I was like, yeah, but I don't want you to do it like I do. I said, I want you to go explore a degree in real estate and see if you like it. And so he says, okay, I'll do that. And he asked me what was the differences. And I said, well, I'm just the agent. I said, if you get a real estate degree, I said, you always like to build things, because he's got tons of Legos. He's 15 years old, still plays with Legos, builds stuff. And I said, so if you get a degree, you can actually be a developer and build things. I said, you can build neighborhoods, shopping plazas, hospitals. I said, the sky's the limit. So I'm hoping that he'll take a serious look at it, because University of South Carolina and Clemson, they both offer real estate degrees.
Wow.
And the
Good.
University of South Carolina already has written him a couple of times. So I'm hoping he considers it.
Nice. There's a really good one in North Carolina too, in the Charlotte area. I don't know what it is, but I do know somebody that's in it that's very exclusive. It really dives very, very deep into real estate, commercial, developing, building, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
There's a guy I know. Oh gosh. If I think of his name, I'll let you know. If you can't find it, you let me know and I'll dig around and find his name. I can picture him. I met him at a coffee shop and left my card with him, and he sent me my card, but for the life of me, I cannot think of his name right now, but I will think of his name. The Barbara Sher book is really interesting. It is, do you remember What Color Is Your Parachute? Or do you know about that?
No.
Okay,
I
so What
have
Color
it.
Is Your Parachute? Okay, it was an old book from the late 60s, early 70s, maybe. I think. Anyway, it was very much about people got stuck in jobs because they didn't understand the concept of transferable skills. Like, for instance, if I know how to do a spreadsheet, I can work in a bunch of places that do spreadsheets. If I know how to do customer service, I can do customer service anywhere. Those kinds of things. I could coach as a coach in a bunch of different fields. I just happen to coach in real estate. So it's that kind of concept. What she does is it's that kind of an idea, but it's much more modern. And so she goes through a lot of, do you remember that exercise? Oh, I don't think you did it actually. Well, maybe you did do it. The one, I think you did actually, the one where it was, what did you like to do as a kid? What did you enjoy about it? How did it make you feel? And then how,
Yeah.
that's one of them from her book. She's got a series of, I don't know, a ton of books. But that's a good one. Live the Life You Love is another good one. But if he's going to read it, have him do the exercises, because then that's where the magic comes out of it. Don't just read it, actually
Okay.
do the dive into it. But it's fun. It's very, very readable. And it's just, I really like it. And I really think that teenagers, our job with our children, not just to raise them into decent human beings, not just to make sure their life is better than our lives were, but also to be able to look at kids at whatever age they are and be able to say, you were really good at this. And they don't know it. They don't understand that. Like, if my daughter could compose music from the time she was little tiny, I'm like, you are very, very good in the arts and in music. And if you ever wanted to go that direction, you would probably excel in it. So I think it's our job to point out where they're really good, not in a limiting way, but in an expanding way of, consider this. So I'm glad that you exactly like you did. Legos, building is exactly what we did. This is what you're really, really good at. You might want to consider a career in it.
Yeah. And what
You know
was the
what I
book
wish?
that we need for the course, the book that for
Has
yours?
to test
Finder.
Strengths Finder too.
Finder. Okay.
And I'm sorry, everything's backwards. It's because I can't stand to look at myself forwards. I'm not even joking. That's truly what it is. So you'll have to read backwards, which in my bathroom, there's a mirror behind me in my bathroom, right? In our master bathroom. And so as I'm getting ready, I can kind of keep my eye on the time, but it's backwards. So I just taught myself how to tell times backwards. Never do this not on a digital, but on analog or whatever that's called, whatever. Don't teach yourself this, because now I read time both directions and I have to go, wait, what are you really looking at here? Because I can read it both ways now. So don't do that. But this, work your way to figure out backwards.
It comes across straight to us, or at least it does to me.
This
Yeah.
comes across the right direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up, really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I had no idea. I am not joking. PF, are they telling the truth? Okay.
Gina, Gina, quick question for you.
Yeah.
What was the name of the documentary you mentioned yesterday about exercise?
Oh.
Stats?
Yes. STUTZ.
STUTZ. Thank
What,
you.
Kathy? You haven't watched the movie yet? Don't worry
I
about
didn't watch the thing last night at 9:00.
Abbott Elementary. Okay, so
I
if you
love
go
that
Hulu-
show.
If you go on Hulu, you can get we actually went on Hulu last night because I wanted to start at the very beginning. And it was like, watch season 1, episode 8. And Mom lives with us now, but we forget, anyway, she's got a TV in her room. And both of us are like, season 8, what the hell? And we're like, Greg is like, who's on? Because we got hacked one time into like our Hulu or Netflix or whatever got hacked. And it was a pain in the butt. Another time we had a guy living with us, needed help for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 months. And his phone would connect to our TV. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, our TV would come blasting with God knows what. And we thought, who knows what the hell's going on? We didn't know what we thought. Anyway, so it said season 8, and we were like, what the hell? And Mom doesn't remember as much stuff anymore. She was like, she goes, I don't know. And finally she goes, wait, as we're partway into it, she's like, I watched this show. Yeah, 8 episodes, chickie.
That's
So
one
anyway,
of the
I
best
watched
shows on
it. You can see it
TV.
on Hulu. Yes,
That's one of the best shows on TV.
very cute. It's not as cringy as Parks and Rec, which is cringy, but it has that mockumentary feel to it. It's got that kind of feel.
I think I watched at least the first 1 or 2. It sounded like the thing I watched. Because there was this blonde who had, I think she was blonde, had coerced her way into being a principal.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was-
she did dye her hair blonde in the first one. Yes, that's
It
exactly
was
it.
a show
Yep.
that had to do with a talent show or something,
I don't remember,
and how that went.
but maybe it's a couple of episodes in. But I will say this: it's very, very funny that Targan gives us homework, and we're all like, "Wait," because last night I was like, "I have to watch this."
Yeah,
So,
well, I've got all
right.
these things that I have not done, so I'll tell you now.
Fair enough. As my desk looks like that still. So there you
Yeah.
go. All right. Have an amazing day. I am super looking forward to this afternoon. And it's Thursday, which means it's almost
Yay,
Friday.
yay.
So, yep. Have a good
Give me
day.
that 11:30 spot. If
I will leave it open right now. So if
right,
you just
thank
call
you.
me if you need me, like bring me into the call or whatever.
Right, thank you.
Cool. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Craig,
Yes.
I wanted to say something. This is a
Mhm.
pet peeve.
Okay.
I have to leave the
Schools-
Zoom going. If I close out the Zoom, I'm gonna close out, but I'm gonna stop the video and mute. So guys talk, okay?
Okay, all right. But she's still recording. Anyway, pet peeve about